Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. I'm Deanne Castro, Creative Memories Advisor in Bakersfield, California. And today we're doing a scrapbook border with the new Croptoberfest paper. Now, I know last week I showed you a page using that paper, and it's beautiful. So today I'm doing the border that I gave you a sneak peek of last time. And so let's get started. Okay. Here's the border. Now, as you can see, it's smaller on one side and larger on the other. So when I cut the wave using the decorative trimmer, Creative Memories decorative trimmer, I angled it a little bit to match the pattern that was on the paper with the loads of, I don't know what those are, apples and pears or tomatoes, probably apples for the fall. And but I angled it because the paper is angled. Let me show you here. So here is the paper, and as you can see, this kind of angles upward on these. So that's why I did that, and then it gave it a little bit of space to make a little road for the truck. So that is what we're going to do today. And it takes a little bit of finagling. So I'll just show you and you can kind of finagle it on your own as you go along. So first thing I did was I took this paper and I lifted this up and I centered it. I really like to center it on the paper. Let me show you what that means. See how there's one set of squares on one side and another set of squares on the other side. I'm going to move it over just a little bit, but I like it centered because then it gives me kind of the waves centered on the paper. Okay, so I'm going to move this up and I'm going to look for the angle that will work best with these waves, getting as many of the barrels of stuff. Let's see. I think if I do it just like about this, so I'm not really centering it. I'm actually angling the paper, so it's not really going to be centered. But as you can see, most of the barrels of stuff are kind of angled and not much of it's sticking up. Some of it is, and it'll be cut off a little bit, but at least I'll get most of what's on in those little barrels in this wave. So I'm going to cut this right here, which is real close to the first one that I did. Okay, so see, I've got most of the barrels of stuff here. A little bit of it was cut off, and I don't really like that as much. So let me see if there's another piece a little bit further down that will give me more of what I'm looking for. And I've got it sideways so I can see it better. Let's see. Here, this one looks better. This looks like I'm going to be getting more of the barrels of stuff that I want to see. Okay, so we're going to try this again. So you can do this. You don't want to do it too much because you don't want to waste the paper, but you can always use the other side for something else. Okay, here we go. So see, the barrels are all not cut up like they were on the first one that I did. Okay, so now I'm going to trim this. And I'm going to use a straight trimmer, but I'm going to use a different blade. So I have pulled the Victorian blade out of the back from back here. And I'm going to put the Victorian blade in without the straight blade, and then I'm going to angle this cut to mirror these, and it may not be exact, but I'm going to put this down, and I'm going to kind of look at the pattern that's in here. I'm going to pull this down and make sure it's going. See how when you pull this down, this shows you exactly where that black line is. That's where the blade is going to cut. And then you can see if it's cutting off things that you want to leave on there or not. Okay, so that looks to be about what I want. The pattern's pretty much the same. And I'm going to cut it like that. Okay, so see how when I set this down, it's going to be angled. If I put the side here along the side here, it's going to be angled up like that. Okay, now the tricky part is getting the background paper, the wave, just the similar size as that, and still getting it on a wave. So I'm going to put this on here and line up the edges. And I'm going to tack it down just a little bit so it doesn't move with the repositionable tape. And that way I know I'm going to get the same angle on the wave as I did on the paper. Okay, now I'm going to put it back in here. And I'm going to line it up. And you're going to have to move it a little bit to get that same angle and the same cut. You're going to want to line this up right with the edge of that pattern. See if I can get this equal here. Okay, so catch the same wave as much as possible. Okay, so see, I have the paper lined up right along the edge here. So it's going to give me just a little bit of a matting behind this, but I want to make sure that the wave matches as close as possible. Okay, so there's a little bit of finagling on this border. Not bad. Doesn't have to be perfect. But now if I do this, it's going to give me that little bit of matting behind there. See, just a little bit to add a little bit of color behind it. And if I want, I can, now that I've got it cut, I can just move it down just a little bit and give a little bit more of a reveal. Okay, so done with that. And I am going to adhere this down now more permanently. Oops, wrong one. I'm going to use the regular tape runner to hold it down tighter. Okay, line it up on here again. Give it just about as much of a matting as I want. I don't want a whole lot. You might want more, so it really depends on what you are looking for. Okay, now I'm going to trim this one. Now this, it doesn't have to be all the way down, and just trim just a little bit off the end, because I left it to where it just showed a little bit of that color right on the bottom of that. I don't need a whole lot because we're going to have this one on the bottom. Okay, so my trimmer and just leave a little bit of a cut. I'm going to line up the edge of the decorative paper on the second dotted not really a dotted line, but the dashed line there, which will give me 1/8 of an inch on the bottom from top to bottom. Okay, just like that. Now, what I want is this paper. And I'm going to want this one to be cut straight. And I don't need a whole lot. But I'm going to need to angle it to cut it straight to make sure I get the same, enough up here to cut it straight across like this. So I'm actually going to take a pencil and mark this part right here. This is the one that I want. And I'm going to cut it straight down with the trimmer. There's my little mark right there. And that's going to give me, let's see, about 1 1/8 of an inch. If I put it on here, angle it, yes, that will give me the angle that I'm looking for, okay? So you don't need a whole lot, just a little bit. I'm going to line this up across the line on my mat to make sure it's straight. Okay. And I'm going to put some adhesive on here, on the bottom. Put this here and line it up straight. I don't need much on the bottom showing on this side. And it's going to angle up here. Straight across like that. Now that will give us just about 2 inches to this first wave from the bottom to here. Okay. On this side, it's going to give us almost 3 inches. So it's really going to be an angled border for your page. Now, the last one I want to do is I'm going to take the Rustic Fence Border Maker cartridge. This just came back in stock. So if you don't have one of these, get it from your advisor because they just came back in and hopefully they don't sell out again before you can get one. Okay, now I'm going to take this paper and I'm just going to cut the Rustic Fence. I only need one. Going to put the paper in the paper cartridge, put it all the way up to the edge of this paper holder, put this back underneath. Going to line up the little knob here with the knob here. And we've done this several times, so you guys probably know how this actually lines up. Okay. Get this out of the way. All right, now I'm going to cut this off, the full piece off. But then I'm going to cut it again. Actually, I'm going to cut it again first. So I don't want the full Rustic Fence. This is so small that I don't want that whole piece on here. So I'm going to cut it right along this edge here on my trimmer. Okay, so I'm just going to line this up and I'm going to cut right along here on it to make it a smaller fence. And I'm just going to put that right along the cut line right here. I'm going to pull this down, make sure that it's going to cut on there pretty much, pretty close. Pull this one up, look at this side. It's going to do the same thing. Okay, and I'm going to cut it. Okay, and that little piece stuck on there. All right, now I'm going to put the straight trimmer back in here. Trim off the bottom part of the stem so the paper's ready to go next time I need it. If you like that and you want to keep it for something else, feel free. I'm not. It's going in the trash. I know some people get all freaked out when I don't save all of my scraps. But over the years, I've been doing this since 1998. If I kept all the little pieces of scraps that I didn't use, I think a full room would be full of scraps of paper. So I learned a long time ago, if I'm not going to use it right away, I'm just going to toss it. Okay? And get rid of this. Put some adhesive on this little piece of a fence. Going to use the repositionable on this. And then I'm going to line this right up across the bottom of the angled portion. There we go. So now it looks like all of these are behind the field. Next are the embellishments. We're almost done. Okay, here are what's left of the embellishment pack. I've been using it, obviously. So I'm going to use this truck. And what I liked about getting the paper cut at an angle here is, depending on where I put the truck, it would look like those are in the back of it. Okay, so there's the truck on the road. And this one, I added this loads of fun embellishment. And those come in this pack right here. And all of these Croptoberfest items you can get from your advisor. Okay. So here's that embellishment. I think I'm just going to put it about right here. And I think that's all it needs. If you guys want to add some more, that would be great. If you don't want to add this one and just leave it, you can do that too. So let's go ahead and put this on a page so you can see what it looks like. Okay, so here's another one of those papers. We've got this on the back, which I love. And I also have another page that I did, my own page, that I'll probably be showing you fairly soon. But here for the back, we can put this border here on the bottom. And you have a completely decorated page. This, I took a few stickers. So this was a double, like the little journaling box on the mat card, and I cut it in half. Then I added a couple of stickers, and that can just kind of go up in the corner wherever you would like it. And then add your photos. So these are 4x6. So if you want full size photos on here, you can get a couple of them on here. This is, I think, a almost 4x4 square. And if you had another smaller photo, you could put it here. But there you go. And you have your page all complete. Okay, let me know what you think. If you guys do not have an advisor and you would like to get this Croptoberfest paper and collection. It's amazing. I actually love it. And go ahead and you can go to my website. If you do have an advisor, please, please get the items from her because I'm sure she works really hard for you and gets you the things that you want and that you need and all those fun things. Okay, so there you have it. And if you would like to join my Facebook group, feel free to request to join. I try to add new products that are coming out. We don't have anything this week, but next week we'll probably have some new items. And then if I see things from the virtual crops, I will add those items on there that I really like and other things. And it's a place for you guys to share the borders and the pages that you've made from watching my videos. So let me know if you'd like to join, and you are welcome to join in. And that is all for now. If you guys have not um, subscribed to my channel and you like what you saw, check out the other videos and please go ahead and subscribe. I'd appreciate it. And I hope you guys have a fabulous week going into the fall season and looking forward to creating new things with you next time. All right. Thank you. Bye for now.